Good morning. I think I have a slightly dodgy internet connection this morning, so apologies if I disappear occasionally, but I'm hoping that it'll last as long as we need to be together. So good morning if you're joining me live this morning for today's yoga class. And if you're watching this on catch up, then you can skip this little bit of introduction if you like, while I wait for people to join me this morning until we're seated for the class. So this is a completely seated yoga class this morning, and I'm going to lead us in a very gentle yoga session surrounded, I don't know if you can see, by my tomato plants. It's becoming a bit of a jungle in this room here now. My tomato plants grew quite a lot bigger than I was expecting, so I'm surrounded by them, which is lovely. There's kind of a smell of tomatoes and a sense of things growing and coming to fruit, hopefully. Nothing red yet. All the tomatoes that I have are green at the moment. But good morning if you're just joining us. Completely seated yoga class this morning. Very gentle. We'll have a good stretch through the whole body and do some breathing. Find a little bit of calm and space this morning. So all you need for this morning's yoga session is a chair that you can sit on comfortably, upright in, and breathe. We're going to be breathing this morning a 3-part breath that we've done before in this class. So settle yourself into your chair. I'm aware that you may be watching this on catch up, which is fine. But welcome to you, and welcome to you if you're joining us live. If you are with us this morning, then send a message just to let us know you're here. And if there's anything in particular that you're concerned about or would like to practice as part of your yoga practice, so if there's anything particular that you want to explore, please let me know and I can use that to shape future classes. Because I'm not with you this morning, or if you're indeed watching this on a catch-up, please be aware of your own individual body's needs. Good morning if you're just joining us now. And I just want you to know this morning that whatever you are feeling physically or emotionally in your own body is unique to you and perfectly fine for this class. So, and for your yoga practice, you don't need to be feeling a particular way. So you might be feeling full of energy and raring to go this morning, or you might be feeling extremely tired and stiff or achy, usual aches and pains, or even kind of working with an injury in your body. But each of us will be different. So listen please to your own individual body's needs and never go into a place of pain. So if something feels painful to you, then please just pull back from that pose. Take a gentler option of the pose, or just take a break and sit and tune into your breath and wait until you feel ready to start the class again. So I'm going to head to my chair now. My chair is just an ordinary kitchen chair, and I have a block that I use under my feet just because it's good to feel the ground really flat under your feet. So if you have slightly shorter legs and your legs are hanging through the front of the chair, then find a big book or a block, something to put your feet on. Good morning, Justina. Lovely to have you with me this morning. So yes, send a message. Let me know if there's anything that you are concerned about or that you particularly enjoy doing. so that it can help me to shape future classes. I get a sense of what people are needing and wanting for their practice. So to begin this practice this morning, find yourself seated slightly forward in your chair so that there's a little space between your back, your spine and the back of the chair. I'm quite far forward on my chair just because this particular chair helps me to sit upright if I'm almost on the edge of it. So it might be different depending on the type of chair that you're seated on. So just find yourself a comfortable place where you can support yourself to sit upright. If you're in an armchair, a soft armchair, you can still work with this practice. You can still do this morning. Just try to sit as upright as you can. And don't worry about the arms in the chair. We'll try to avoid those. You might just have to do a little bit of manoeuvring as you move this morning if you have arms on your chair. Similarly, if you're in a wheelchair with arms, then you will know how to work your body within your own wheelchair space. But if you can, have your feet either resting on the ground, on something, or on the foot plates of your wheelchair, as solidly connected to the ground as you're able. Just rest your hands lightly in your lap, with your knees bent, holding yourself upright, but still with that natural curve in your spine. And we'll come into a slightly more inward place where we can notice how we're feeling this morning. So if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes at this point, then please feel free to do that. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, just lower your chin slightly towards your chest, look down at the ground in front of you, and just really soften your gaze, so that you're not so much focusing on anything, but just bringing your attention a little more inward towards yourself. And begin to notice how you're feeling this morning. So as I said, that can be emotionally or physically. Just noticing how you're feeling within yourself and within your body. And as you do this, begin to slow your breath down. Consciously relax all the muscles around your belly. And then try and send your breath a little deeper down into that part of your body that can expand to fill up with air. If it feels uncomfortable for you to take really deep breaths, then just take as deep a breath as feels comfortable. And perhaps with every breath you take, you can just deepen it slightly, a little bit more than the last. So thinking about how you are feeling this morning, deepening your breath, coming into that slower, stiller place. Now you can feel your feet connecting to the ground, your hands resting in your lap. And just acknowledge to yourself how you're feeling and accept that that is perfectly okay for this practice. So even if you're feeling not great, really tired or anxious, and that's okay, just acknowledging that for yourself. If your body is feeling battered and aching and tired, that's okay. And similarly, if you're feeling full of energy, it's still good to come into this still, quiet place for a moment at the beginning of our practice before we begin to move. If it's comfortable for you to breathe in and out through your nose, then do that too. This breath that we use in yoga has a lovely Sanskrit name. It's pranayama, and that just means life force. So our breath is our life force, that energy that moves around the body. And the more steadily and deeply that we breathe through this practice, the more of that life force, that energy we're going to be sending around our whole body. That has really beneficial physical effects on us too, lowering our blood pressure, strengthening our heart, that core muscle, expanding our lungs. Good for our joints, our muscles, that vital force that we always have with us but we don't pay much attention to. So take a few really deep breaths, maybe the deepest breaths you've taken since you woke up this morning. Perhaps you can hear the sound of your own breath. And as you breathe out over the next few breaths, really notice those exhales as the air leaves your body. At the end of those exhales, consciously draw your tummy in just to expel all of the stale air. Notice how that feels. When you have no air left in your body, you might even like to take a small pause at the bottom there before you breathe in again. And then feel that expansion as you breathe in, not just in this deep down part of our belly, but perhaps in your side ribs expanding, maybe even into your back, as your core muscles that wrap all the way around you expand with that breath. Lovely. And the next breath, we're going to take a really big stretch as well. As we breathe in, you can send your feet out away from you, maybe your arms up overhead. Take some circles with the wrists. You might be taking a few breaths here. Feeling length in the body and an expansion, almost as if you're waking up the body. And then as you exhale, sigh it out and come to sitting back up straight with your feet really connecting to the ground. And we'll just take the next few breaths as we breathe in, pressing into the toes, lifting the heels from the ground. And then as we breathe out, lowering the heels and lifting the toes. And we're going to really try this morning to connect our breath to our movements. So breathing in, lifting the heels. Breathing out, lower the heels, lift the toes. Just inviting that movement into your feet and the ankles. Noticing where you feel that stretch as you keep breathing. Lovely. And noticing how that feels on the bottom of your feet. So I'd invite you, as I usually do at this point, to either take your shoes or slippers off if you have them on, certainly. And if you're feeling quite brave, to take off your socks as well, so that you can really feel the ground beneath your feet. Lovely. We'll raise one leg out in front of us and begin to take some slow circles with the ankle. So you can look down at your foot as you do this and try and remain seated as upright as you can. Shoulders relaxed though, away from your ears. And keep that lovely, slow, steady breath going as you turn that ankle, noticing how it feels. Almost imagine that your breath is traveling right down through your body, down through your leg, towards that ankle joint. Slow it down and reverse the direction. You can involve the toes, giving them a wiggle as you rotate that ankle. Lovely. Let that foot come back to the floor, and we'll do that with the other ankle. So just turning slowly and smoothly, feeling into the outer edges of that joint. So seeing how wide you can make those circles. It might feel different one side to the other. Slow that down and we'll reverse the direction, go back the other way. Keep working with your pranayama, your lovely breath, that energy through the body as you turn your ankle here. Lovely. Release that and stretch out that first leg, the heel coming down towards the ground or resting on a block, pushing away from you, straightening through that leg. Still sit up really nice and straight and bring both hands to the bent leg and draw the toes of your stretched out leg towards you. And then notice where you feel that stretch. You take a big breath in here to really straighten through the spine. And then as you breathe out, lean forward if it's not painful for you, for your hips or the straightened out leg. Keep a straight spine. So when we're bending forward here, we're not rounding down through the spine. We're bending just sort of from the hips here. Lovely. And then you can take a few breaths down here. Look down towards your foot that's flexed up towards you. Lovely. Inhale yourself back up to sitting. Take hold of that leg and draw it up towards you. Relax the foot. You can even take a couple of circles of it just to ease that ankle joint out. And then hug that knee in as far as it will come towards you. It might be low down, or it might be right high up, hugged in towards you. Try and have that sense of relaxedness through the body. Is that a word, relaxedness? Probably not, but we'll make it one. And effort as you hold that knee in towards you. Releasing any tension in the hip there. Couple more deep breaths. Lovely. And then release that foot to the ground. And we'll stretch out the other leg, pushing the heel away from us as we draw the toes up towards us as we did in the first leg. Bring both hands to that bent knee. Sit up nice and straight. Inhale, and then as you exhale a little, lean forward. Notice where you feel that stretch in that straightened out leg, and imagine you're sending your deep breaths to that part of your body which is stretching there. Relax your shoulders on the exhale. Lovely, and inhale yourself back up. Take hold of that leg and help it in towards you. A couple of circles with the foot. And then draw it in close towards you, or just hug it up as close as it'll come towards you. And with every exhale, you can relax your shoulders, but also give that knee a squeeze in or a little lift higher from the ground. Lovely. Replace that foot on the ground there. We'll take some windscreen wipers with the knees. Again, keep your breath going. So in yoga, this is not power yoga, obviously, so we don't want really fast, energetic movements here. It's much more about connecting our breath to our movement and inviting a sense of calm and presence into the body, so that we're really noticing what we're doing as much as anything else. Lovely. This next movement for the hips and legs that I want to do is you should be extra careful if you have any hip issues. So let's just talk about this at the moment. If you have, well, you won't have, because of the situation at the moment, have had a hip replacement, I suspect. But if you have had a hip replacement and have any issues with that, or you're waiting for one, then just take a break from this next position that we're going to do. You know, lift up our knee before as we did, but then bring that ankle over the bent knee and allow that upper knee to drop out to the side as far as it'll go. It might be really upright for you, and that's fine, but just see if you can invite a sense of relaxation into that outer hip and that leg. Keep a flex in that foot there. If you have hip pain and that feels awful to you, then just release that foot down to the ground. Keep your windscreen wiper movement going, but super gently. Just make them small movements, and keep your breath going. If you don't have issues with your hip, and this is an enjoyable, well, maybe not enjoyable, but a good hip release exercise to do. Again, sit up nice and straight. Keep a flex in that upper foot. Breath in, and then as you breathe out, you can hinge again forward from the hips, but this will really intensify the stretch in that outer hip. Yeah, can you really feel that? So draw in your tummy, your core abdominals, just to protect your lower back here. We're folding with a straight back. It might be just half an inch that you've lent yourself forward there, or you maybe just decided it's better to just stay sitting upright. So do what feels right for your body, and take a couple more breaths as you sit here, inviting that sense of relaxation into the body, even as you're putting effort into this stretch. Inhale yourself back up, and we're just going to give that foot, if you can reach that foot, well done. Give that foot a massage. We don't often give our feet lots of love, do we? But give the foot a massage. The base of the foot, the toes. Lovely. And then help that leg down. Relax it there. Maybe take a couple more little side to side with the knees, and then we'll raise that other leg up. Bring it up and cross that foot. I used to sit like this a lot as a child. You still see people sitting like this sometimes. And it's really going to open up this outside hip. So it might feel completely different on this side to the first side. And depending on your hips, it'll feel different for each one of us. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, relax your shoulders. Try and allow this leg to just fall out to the side. Keep a flex in the upper foot. Inhale yourself up straight, but with shoulders away from ears. As you exhale, maybe take that little lean forward from the hips. Noticing how that changes the stretch, where you feel that sense of release in that outside hip. Might feel quite an intense stretch for you, and try and just stay with that fold, or sitting up straight if you've chosen not to fold forward. Take some slow, steady breaths. Know that this hold won't last forever, and just allowing these muscles to really stretch. And then when we release it, we'll give them a chance to recover. That's when they do their real work and they strengthen. Lovely. So inhale yourself back up to sitting if you will, and forward. Support that foot down to the ground. Take some side to side sways with the knees. Big breath in maybe, and a sigh out. And then lean your back, your upper back against the chair while still sitting your bottom forward in the chair. Raise one leg out in front of you and push the heel away. Stretch that leg out. And then point the toes away and take some small circles. More work for the hip here. Lovely, warming up that joint. And then we'll take 6 back in the other direction. You can make them slower and bigger, but keep breathing. 5 and 6, and release that leg to the ground. Big breath in and a sigh out. Lovely. And then stretch the heel of the other leg away from you. Foot almost to the sole of your foot pushing away from you, toes pulling towards you, and then point the toes away from you. Take some small circles. At this point, just notice what your core muscles are doing here. You can have your hands in your lap, or you can take hold of the base of the chair to give yourself a bit more support. Perhaps the arms of your chair if you have a wheelchair. Keep breathing even as your core muscles are supporting you and drawing in, so you won't be able to breathe quite as deeply. Slow it down. Let's take 6 back in the other direction. 3, 4, 5, extra big one, 6, and release that. Take a really big breath in and a sigh out. And then come to sitting back up straight. And we'll take some cat-cow for the spine. So with this movement, I'm going to show you this sideways in case you've never really known what I'm talking about here. As we breathe in, we want to almost reach our chest, shine our chest forward, lift our gaze up. Not taking a really big back bend, but you can involve the arms as well. And then as you breathe out, tucking the tailbone under, rounding out through the spine, dropping the chin to the chest and rolling forward. So we're really inviting a roundedness into our spine with our exhale. Inhale and exhale. Lovely, and then take this movement, keep going and take this movement as expansive or as mildly as you like for your spine. So it might be that for you this is a small, gentle movement. It might be that this is a very expansive movement if you don't have any issues with your spine and you like to move it, but what we're doing is inviting movement into all the vertebrae in the spine and trying to encourage them to move as separately as they will. So notice your breath, connecting your breath to this movement. Opening up the chest as you breathe in. And as you exhale, drawing everything in. Draw your core muscles in at the last moment. Exhale everything. Try and make that breath out last as long as the movement. Lovely. After your next exhale, there's no rush to get here. Clasp your hands in front of you and draw them out in front of you, making the space between your shoulder blades as wide as possible. And then send your next couple of breaths into that space at the back of your body. Lovely. Release your hands gently. Come to sitting up and take hold of the back of your chair. Sit forward in your chair, and then the next couple of breaths really opening your chest and that space between the collarbones, the shoulders working back. Imagine you're breathing into this heart space at the front of your body here. You can look just up ahead of you. Lovely. Exhale, release that and take a couple of shoulder shrugs just to release any tension in the shoulders. Well done. Bringing the left hand to the outside of the right leg or across the body. Inhale to send the right arm up ahead, overhead. Exhale, side stretch to the side, over to the left. So we're inviting, stretching space into this whole right hand side of the body here. You can relax the neck here. It doesn't have to be a really deep side stretch. Just go for length in the body on the right hand side. One more breath in, and as you exhale, release that, come to sitting back up straight. We'll swap that over. So right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend over to the right this time. Try and keep that left shoulder open so that we're not leaning forward. We've got an open side stretch here. If that feels too much for that left shoulder, just bring the hand onto the head, a gentler form of that stretch. You can still get length in the left hand side of the body there. Inhale back to the center, and as you exhale, bring hands back to the lap. So sitting upright and slightly forward in your chair, we'll take our twists from side to side. This is a familiar pattern of practice that we're doing for those of you who practice regularly with me. But it's in this familiarity and repetition that our body will begin to recognize these movements and find them easier, hopefully, over time. So inhale yourself up to sitting up straight. As we exhale, we'll turn this whole middle part of our body over to the right. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears, tummy drawing in to give us space. You can allow the hands just to rest wherever they arrive. If you enjoy this side twist, you can bring this right hand, back hand over the back of your chair and use that almost to draw yourself around in a deeper twist. If that feels too intense or painful anywhere in your body, release that arm. Just let it sit beside you. And take a few deep breaths sitting up straight here. So try to avoid kind of really craning the neck around. This is not a twist for the neck. It's really coming from your mid-spine. So keep your head more or less in line with your torso, your chest. Lovely. One more breath there. One more inhale, and then as you exhale, walk your hands slowly back to the center. Take a couple of shoulder shrugs. And then inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, this time we'll turn to the left. It doesn't have to be a really deep turn twist here. And just notice that drawing in of the abdominal muscles as you breathe out. Giving yourself maybe a little more space, perhaps a little more space to turn. Maybe use that back hand with the chair, just drawing yourself around a little further. But no pressure to do that. If that feels too intense for you, don't worry. One more breath. Lovely. Inhale, and then as you exhale, come back to the center. A couple of shoulder shrugs. Well done. And then we'll inhale, arms out to the side. Look up towards your hands as you bring palms to meet together up overhead. Take a couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, we're going to reach forward, hinging from the hips again as we did before earlier in the practice, reaching all the way forwards and then rounding down over the legs. And enjoy that forward fold. Try and relax your head and your neck as you've folded forward here. You can feel your feet really pushing down into the ground here.
Lovely. And then we'll really push our feet down into the ground as we breathe in. Send your arms wide and hinge yourself back up into that position of high mountain pose, bringing the palms together up overhead, looking up again. Breath in, and then as you exhale, bring those palms down to meet at your heart center in front of you. Relax your shoulders when you get here and sit up straight. So we're just sitting in more of a contemplative, that is a long word, contemplative, inward focused pose here. Take a couple of breaths. If it suits you, close down your eyes. Feel that release of tension as you breathe out here. Press your palms lightly towards each other. And then we'll do that fold forward once more. So you can open your eyes if you like, or keep them closed to move through this little set of movements. Inhale, send the arms widen up. Exhale to reach forward all the way down, and then rounding down over the legs as far as feels comfortable for you. Inhale again, push through the feet, send the arms widen up, look up. And exhale to bring the hands back to heart center. A resting breath here, and we'll move through that once more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, push all the way up. Look up. And exhale, reset the hands. It's just a mini little flow there. We're going to add one or two more things into that flow. So inhale again, arms widen up. Exhale to reach forward and round down over your legs. This time when we inhale, we're going to bend at the elbow, draw your core muscles in to support you as you come up, reaching forward with your arms cactus style. So kind of a hands up style almost. If you're sitting up straight, it looks like this. But we're reaching our chest forward here. Crown of our head reaching forward. Look down at the ground just ahead of you. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, rounding back down. Inhale, push through the feet, send the arms widen up, look up. Exhale, reset the hands. Do that once more. Inhale. Exhale, reaching forward, all the way down. Inhale, open the chest, cactus the arms. Exhale, round down. And inhale all the way back up, arms widen up. Exhale to reset. If you feel dizzy at all this movement, take a break now and just sit here. You can sit with your palms together or hands down beside the body, palms face forward, or more relaxed in the lap. Just take a break. But we're going to move through that once more and add in something else as well. Really going for it this morning. Okay. Inhale, arms widen up. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, cactus the arms, open the chest. Exhale, rounding down. When you're down here, leave your left hand down and open the right arm out to the side, maybe even working up behind you. Take a breath in here. We'll take a couple of breaths as we stretch to the side, just so everyone can catch up. Exhale, bring that arm down to the bottom. Open up with the left arm out to the side or working up behind you. Look towards that hand. Exhale, bringing that arm back down to the center. Press through the feet, send the arms wide and all the way up overhead. And exhale, release hands to the heart center. Take a breath here, relax your shoulders. We'll move through that once more, but I want to give you a chance just to catch your breath and deal with any dizziness just by calming yourself down as you sit quietly. Lovely. And we'll move through that little flow once more. So inhale, send the arms widen up. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, cactus the arms, reach your chest forward. Exhale, rounding down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, bring the right arm down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, left arm down. And as you breathe in, send the arms widen up. Push through the feet all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring hands back to heart center. Lovely. I'm going to move through that once more, but I'm not going to talk us through it. So give it a go yourself. If it all goes horribly wrong and you're doing different movements, please don't worry about it. We're each of us going to try and just do our best to move through this flow. And if you happen to make up some creative flow of your own here, where you're moving your spine and your body and you're breathing, then all power to you. So yeah, let's go. Find yourself just sitting really comfortably, palms together to begin with. Tune into your breath. Lovely, and then on your inhale, begin your flow. Lovely. If you're still going in some creative flow of your own, then I'll take my hat off to you. And if you did my flow, then I hope you enjoyed that, just moving quietly through something by yourself with your breath. Know that you can always do that by yourself as well, anytime. You can just do your little bit of creative yoga wherever you are. So we're going to finish off towards the end of our practice now, just with a little bit of breathing into the shoulders and the neck. So inhale, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, draw them back towards each other. As you exhale, release them down the back. Do this a few times, feeling a real release of tension as you breathe out. Lovely. Take a few the other direction. So shoulder blades come together at the base there. Inhale all the way up your back and exhale, kind of forward and down. Lovely. Releasing that. As you will do just a little bit of work with the wrists before we move into the neck as well. Just turning the wrists in either direction. Keep your breath going. Lovely. And then shake the arms out. Good shake. Lovely. Rest your hands in your lap and begin to make some small circles with the nose. So turning the head in one direction. If you want to close down your eyes for this, you can, but connect your breath to this movement. So breathing in as your head comes up one side and breathing out as it comes down the other side. chin dropping down to the chest at the bottom there, looking out to the side, rotating the neck, and really feeling into all the nooks and crannies of your neck. Lovely. Slow it down when your chin is next at your chest. Just leave it there for a moment. Feel that length in the back of the neck. Spine is straight, shoulders away from the ears. Big breath in, and as you breathe out, let's just take a few small circles back the other way, easing into this neck release. Gradually increasing the size of the circles so that you're really feeling into your neck. Don't forget to breathe. Lovely. Again, when your neck, your head is down at your chest, your chin is down at your chest, head forward. Leave it there for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. Lovely. And then slowly bring your head back up to center. You can reopen your eyes. We're going to take one look to the right, back to the center, look to the left, back to the center. Inhale and send your arms wide and up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to send the right arm back and the left arm forward, turning the whole upper body in that twist again that we did at the beginning. So turning to the side, breathe out. Inhale, arms come back to center. Exhale, opening up the arms and turning the body to the left. Inhale. We'll do this a couple more times on each side. So again, a kind of movement with breath. Inhale, draw arms back up overhead. Exhale, send the arms wide and out to the side. Do this movement as feels right for your body. So it may be that you've got slightly more bent elbows and you're making a more gentle twist. Just opening the arms a little, palms face up, or sending them palms face towards, kind of face forward, arms stretched out. Inhaling to bring them back together up ahead. One more time, inhaling, and then exhale, bring the arms back down, give the shoulders a rest, relax the hands in the lap. Take a couple of shoulder rolls if you need to, squeezing the neck. Lovely. And then inhale, send feet out, stretch through the arms, take some circles with the wrists. Big breath in, and then relax in your chair. Allow your back to relax against the upper part of your chair. And your legs just stretched out ahead of you. Allow the feet to connect with the ground now. Maybe take a couple of twists with the knees from side to side. Allow your hands to relax in your lap. Drop your chin ever so slightly towards your chest so that you're not hyperextending your neck, your head isn't falling back. And you're really putting the minimum amount of effort into just sitting like this in your chair. Begin to quieten down your breathing again. So we're not deep breathing now, we're just letting our breath be gentle and flow naturally through the body. As we take a moment to relax every part of the body. Having moved the body and connected our breath, that pranayama, energy, life force, through our body, connecting it to all the movements that we've done. The most important part of our practice that we come to now is to allow the body to just absorb all the work that it's done and rest. So notice if you're holding any tension anywhere in your body. And then try and release that gripping sensation. Maybe your hands are not completely relaxed in your lap, or your shoulders are not relaxed. So just invite them to have that sense of release of tension as you sit. Allow your eyes to close naturally, or your gaze to soften, and then we'll spend a couple of minutes just resting. And then I'll bring us out of this time of rest to finish our practice together. But if you like a longer rest, then feel free to switch off at this point and enjoy as long a rest as you like. But don't skip this part. Enjoy your rest. In Sanskrit, this position of rest is called our Shavasana. So our Shavasana at the end of our yoga practice, really super important part of our practice. If you are really enjoying and need more of this Shavasana rest, then please feel free to continue resting. But if you need to get on with your day and begin to deepen your breath again, just breath by breath, without moving anything in your body initially, just tune into the sounds that you can hear around you. And then begin to take some gentle movement through your body. So giving your fingers and your toes a wiggle. Maybe turn your head from side to side. Lovely. And then wrists. And take a big stretch through the whole body. Really feeling the length down the whole of the front of the body. Take a big breath in. And a sigh out as you come to sit back up straight to finish your practice. You can finish with your hands in your lap, or you can join your palms together at your heart center. You can keep your eyes still closed if they are, or just soften your gaze down ahead of you. Taking a couple of slightly deeper breaths just to finish this practice. and noticing how you feel. So really importantly, at the end of this yoga, noticing how you feel after moving your body like that and connecting your breath to that movement. Perhaps just making a promise to yourself, if you do feel a sense of calm, that you can take that out with you, away from your practice and out into the rest of your day or the rest of your week. If you want to practice any more creative little flows through the week, know that you can also do that. So take a really big breath in and a sigh out. Thank you. Namaste from my heart to yours, with love. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If there's anything in that practice that you were concerned about, or you particularly enjoyed, or would like to do more of, then please let me know so that I can have a think about future practices, shaping those. I believe, since it's Thursday, we might have some news today, who knows, about the easing of restrictions on our lives and where that leaves us. So we're all perhaps feeling a little hopeful today, but we will see. And hopefully before too long we may be able to actually practice in person together. So I do miss those of you who were practicing with me in the hall on a Thursday morning very much. But I'm also delighted to know that there are people who have been using this Facebook Live online facility to practice where you wouldn't be able to come into the hall. So that's lovely and great, and maybe, who knows, we can carry on doing that going forward. But wherever you are, I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have a good week ahead, and join me next week for another seated yoga practice. Thank you. So lots of love to you all. Bye bye.